Hey everybody, and welcome to our overview video today for the Tree of Life Children's Ministry curriculum. My name is Anna Johnson, and I'm so thankful that you are able to join me as we talk about different ways that you can guide children through God's promise of salvation throughout the Bible. I'll jump right into it here because we have a lot to cover. These are the 5 main things we'll cover today, along with some frequently asked questions. But I do want to let you know that the whole Tree of Life program contains much more than just this children's curriculum. It contains sermons, Bible studies for youth and adults. It contains videos. So again, this is just one small portion of a complete kit to help your whole congregation learn more about Jesus and God's saving plan throughout history. You can see here are the 5 things we're going to preview today. This is just to give you a better understanding of how to use that children's curriculum. And today I'm specifically going to focus on how to adapt it for a VBS program, because I know that's what many of you are wondering, many of you are thinking about, and I want to make sure that you have everything you need to have a successful VBS this summer. I'll go into each of these things in more detail, but just want to give you a brief overview of what's all included. The children's curriculum contains different types of planning help, so schedules, suggestions for different formats, whether it's a 1-day, a 5-day, or a whole 10-week children's program. It also contains different music suggestions for the different variety of music styles you might have at your particular church. The lessons also give you biblical context for each of the Bible stories, some lesson objectives and supply lists, which I know, again, in January here, you might not know exactly how many kids are coming, but you do want to start gathering those supplies. Each lesson has different Bible storytelling activities and also different site rotation activities, just like you would have in VBS, crafts, snacks, games, science, you name it, we have it in the kit. And then to make that kit extend well beyond VBS and into Sunday school, into the fall and spring, each lesson also contains lesson extenders, which I'll preview for you. And then the last thing I'll show you are coloring and activity pages. Again, these are to help you bridge that gap with different age groups in your congregation. You might have the really little ones, and you might have those kids, almost getting ready to go into middle and high school. We wanted to make sure we have something for everybody at your church. But before I dig too much deeper into those things, I do want to cover what Bible lessons are in the kit. Like I said, this is a 10-week program, but we know that many of you all have only 5 days for VBS. Again, the idea would be that you select 5 of these 10 lessons for VBS, and then you circle back and do the complete 10-week set. Invite those VBS children and families back to your church so they see more of a complete picture of God's plan of salvation. So here are those 10 lessons, and here are the 5 that we are recommending you do for VBS this year. Now, I've already gotten the question, well, what if we don't want to do Passover? What if we don't want to do Jesus' baptism? We think something else would work for our congregation. The beauty of this kit is that you can swap out one of those lessons. So if your church wanted to do creation, David and Goliath, and then the other 3 for VBS, you could do that. The materials are the same for every lesson in the children's ministry curriculum. And then, like I've been saying, after you do those 5 during your VBS week, you can use the whole set to invite people back for summer Sunday school, maybe have an event where you have a back to school VBS reunion, or even over Christmas or spring break, invite those families to your church to come back to feel the warmth of your church and to learn more about Jesus. This screenshot here has examples of the lesson extenders. These are the parts of the children's ministry curriculum you will use if you extend beyond VBS into one of these other events. Another question I know many of you all are asking is, that's great, you have 10 lessons. Is there a separate early childhood curriculum to go along with these lessons? There's not something exactly like we've had in the past, but there are a few things that help you to adapt the program for early childhood, whether that is in VBS or in Sunday school. You can see on the screenshot I have on the right here, each Bible lesson will have 3 suggested age levels and how to teach them. This is great for VBS, as many of you have one storytelling leader, but the different groups rotating through. So if you have the younger kids earlier, you could use that top one for pre-readers. If you have the older kids last, the storyteller could adapt it, or you could just go right down the middle there and do the same one for everyone else. We also have two different student pages for each of the lessons in the children's ministry curriculum. We have a coloring page, which would be definitely really good for those little ones. You can see it's a simpler art style. And then we have also an activity page for the older kids, something maybe a little bit more complicated. Maybe they've moved beyond coloring and want something a little bit more interactive. So again, each of the 10 lessons has one of each of these pages so that you can mix and match to whatever ages you have in your group. After you do the Bible storytelling, we have the same site rotation activities you all know and love for VBS. So you can see each lesson here has a craft, snack, game, science, memory, and skit activity. The beauty of these is you could do, 4 or 5 different stations, or maybe if your church wants to have a longer opening, you could do something like the skit in your opening program. It's really flexible. Another question I know that many of you are asking is, well, what if we have a music rotation? What do we do for that? And I'll show you in just a second here what the different music options will look like. You can incorporate those as an additional site here or into your opening and closing. The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is if you go through this and you're like, I'm not feeling this particular craft, I'm not feeling this particular snack, we have a bunch of supplemental activities for you. You can go to our webpage, cph.org/tree of life, and we'll have those supplemental craft pages like you see on the right here in just a few days. We also have a bunch of additional ideas on our Pinterest page. DIY crafts, but also pre-packaged crafts. If you have a large group, it might be easier for you to buy something from a place like Oriental Trading or the craft store. We have suggestions for each of those 5 activities too, again, to make it as easy for you as possible. One of the reasons we went to more of this open-ended model is because we know that many of you guys were doing this already. Many of you already were kind of mixing and matching different crafts, maybe having a few from us, a few from others. So we just wanted to give you as many options as possible at an affordable price as well too. I'm going to circle back to something I was talking about a little bit earlier. Where is the music? So in the children's ministry curriculum, you'll have 4 song suggestions per lesson. One is the original CPH music you've come to know and love with VBS. You'll have not only a suggestion, but you'll also, in the digital resource kit, which I'll talk about in a minute, you'll get an MP3 of the music and then also access to either a song action video or a music lyric video. We also have included song and hymn suggestions from both One and All Rejoice and Lutheran Service Book. We know that some churches like to just sing hymns. They maybe don't have the song actions. So we wanted to make sure that if you are one of those churches, you have plenty of song suggestions from your hymns. These will not have recordings because we figure that either your music director or your church organist or somebody can play just right out the hymnal for you. And then we also know kind of on the other end of the spectrum that some of you don't use our music at all. You might find songs that are on the radio or something like that. So we've also included a list of contemporary Christian song suggestions that would fit into each day's theme. So for each of those 10 lessons, we'll have one suggestion that fits into each of these categories. And then, like I said, if you're choosing that first option, you get the added bonus of actually getting some of the music. Another commonly asked question we've already received is, what can I send home with the kids? Well, one option is to go with those activity pages I showed you just a few minutes ago. But the beauty of this Tree of Life comprehensive kit is that we have multiple options. So you could send home just that paper and pencil every day. We have the Tree of Life book, which is shown there on the right. It's going to be $3.49 per student, which is the exact same price that those collectibles were that you might have bought in the past. So you get to send something home that's not just a collectible, but that really takes that message. And then on the left there, if you want to go all out, if you're all sold in on the Tree of Life, this family kit is going to be really awesome. It contains family activities for each of the 10 lessons in the Tree of Life. So imagine on the last day of VBS, with each family, you got to send home this nice kit. It has family activity pages so families can learn about the lesson. It has a family card game so that families can learn and talk about the Bible together. It has samples of each of the books, youth, children, and adults that are in the Tree of Life curriculum. And then it also has a buildable cross craft. It's awesome. It's this 3D kind of coloring craft that families can put together for each of the 10 lessons. So if you're looking to send something home with the kids, our focus this year was on sending something that was really meaningful, that any family could use, not just that 5 days during VBS, but really hopefully all year round. Kind of getting down to brass tacks here. I know many of you are wondering, well, where do I find the children's curriculum? Is it something I buy separately? Is it included elsewhere? Like I said, the children's curriculum is included in the Tree of Life Church Resource Kit. And as a reminder, that kit also includes all the other things I've listed there. It will be available for pre-order here in late January, just in a few weeks. And that price is about $70 for the whole kit. So you get all of these things for $70 along with samples of each of the youth, children, and adults books. So again, this is a really good value. There are a lot more reproducible elements, but that helps if you have a big VBS, especially you can print and copy as many as you want without having to buy too much extras. I know some of you though are thinking, what if my team needs to start planning now? I can't wait a couple weeks. I can't wait till these kits ship. What can I do? So one thing we've done is we've put together a 5-day VBS planning guide on our website, cph.org/treeoflife. You'll just go there, click on the VBS icon and scroll about halfway down the page, and you'll be able to download this planning guide. It contains more in-depth information about each of the 5 lessons we are suggesting for the VBS program, along with supply lists and other things to help you and your planning team get a head start right now. Like I said, please also do check out our craft and snack suggestions on our Pinterest page. The other thing we have there are decorating suggestions too. So I know you decorators get started really early in the year. There's a whole bunch of different ideas of things you can make that fit into this Tree of Life theme. And then the third thing I wanted to mention is that our team is working hard here to give you early digital access to the church resource kit when you pre-order it. So hopefully I'll have a few more details to share in the coming weeks, but we do know that this January, February timeframe is critical for many of you, and we want to do as much as we can to get you those planning materials even before the Tree of Life VBS kit ship. And here we are, we're already at the end of our quick overview video. I know some of you though are thinking, I still have more questions, what can I do? The first thing I would encourage you to do is reach out to me. I am happy to answer your questions. I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. The other thing you can do is call our customer service number, visit our website, or email VBS team. But just a little insider secret, I'm the one who answers VBS team, so if you want to just email me directly, that is no problem. Well, thank you guys for coming to this short video about the Tree of Life Children's Ministry Kit. We'll be here all month long, all year long, to support you as you support kids and teach them more about Jesus. Thanks for listening, and I hope to talk to you again really soon. Bye, everybody.